Hello and welcome to the Girl That Went For It podcast. I'm your host, Johanna Scholz, also known as johannaliana on Instagram, and author of Believe in Life, How to Dance in the Rain. Feel free to follow me on Instagram, johanna_liana, for daily content. And now enjoy this episode. Hello everyone to my first YouTube podcast episode. I'm so excited to have you here today. I've done podcasting for over a year now, and I never really did YouTube because I was like, I like the fact of podcasting that I can just show up without putting any effort in and just literally sit in my bed and talk to you guys. And then I was like, I really like the YouTube podcasts. Why not doing it? And also in my head, I made it so much more complicated. I was looking for all these excuses why I can't do this on YouTube, and like having the wrong equipment or all these unnecessary excuses instead of just showing up. So this is to showing up and just doing it. If you want to listen to my previous episodes, I'm going to tag it below. I first thought I'm going to do a little intro, but then I thought you guys probably want to hear what I always do and what I talk about. So I thought I'd just do like a little brief, tiny intro, and you can always go back to my old episodes and listen to them. But who am I? I'm Johanna. I'm 27 years old. I moved to New Zealand 5 years ago, and I love all things mindset, living your best life. I offer group coachings where I help others to live their best life. I'm all about chasing your dream and making it happen, and that's why this podcast is called the Girl That Went For It podcast, because I always wanted to be the girl that went for it and the girl that doesn't have any excuses. So that's why I'm also doing YouTube podcasts right now, because I don't have any excuses. All the excuses that I was looking at or telling myself, like all these limiting beliefs of who am I to do a podcast, first of all that, and then who am I to do a podcast on YouTube with a camera setup and all that. So yeah, here I am showing up for myself, going for it, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Today I'm going to talk about your path. What does it mean, like being on your path, being on the right path, wrong path? Is there even a wrong path? In my opinion, there isn't a wrong path. We can only learn from mistakes. We can only learn from things that didn't work out. And the other day I posted a few stories, a few questions in my stories that I want to read to you, and I want to read the answers or like the votes that came in, and I want to talk a bit more about this topic. Questions that I asked in my stories were, do you believe that everything will work out how it should be? And 79% of you said yes. Question number 2 was, do you believe that if something doesn't work out, something better is waiting for you? And here again, 90% of you guys said yes. I do believe that if something doesn't work out for me, something better will come my way. Do you believe that there's a higher power? 74% of you said yes. Do you believe that we're meant to cross paths with certain people? 94% of you guys said yes, I do believe that. And do you believe that a person has a certain calling in life? Again, over 70% of you said yes. I want to talk a little bit more about the first two. Do you believe that everything will work out exactly how it should be? And do you believe you don't get what you want because something better is waiting for you? I couldn't agree more with this. Whether it is relationships, whether it is friendships, career. Honestly, I look back and I'm like, wow, everything did work out in the end, and everything worked out better than I could have ever imagined, and everything is exactly how it should be. And I met certain people in my life that led me to certain people, to certain circumstances, to certain opportunities, and I feel like everything was meant to be. Every heartbreak was meant to be. If you're going through a heartbreak right now, I know this seems like, what are you talking about? But believe me, in the end, it will all make sense. All the things that we can take responsibility for, our feelings, our emotions, our decisions, all these things lead us to where we're meant to be. Even a decision that doesn't work out, even something that doesn't work out, will in the end lead us to where we're meant to be. If I look back on my first real heartbreak and how devastated I was because I pictured this perfect life for us, I was like so sure that one day it's gonna work out. And that was like probably 10 years ago. But if I look back now, firstly, I would wish I could talk to my younger self and tell her, mate, there's so much better. There's someone so special waiting for you and meant for you. Hang in there. Like if I had only known that, but I had to go through this heartbreak to know my values, to know what's important to me, to know what I actually want, how I want a relationship to look like, how I want a partnership to look like. I had to go through that breakup to understand my worth, my values, what I see in a partner, what I want to attract into my life, what I want in a relationship. I had to go through all these stages to get to where I'm meant to be. Now I look back and I'm just so grateful that I didn't hold on to these feelings. Maybe I did for a little while. Now I understand why this wasn't meant to be. And the same goes with friendships or even at work. I once applied for a job and I remember sitting in that interview. I just had quit my old job and I was sitting in that interview talking about my goals, talking about how I was just writing a book at the moment and all my plans. And if I look back now, I understand why they didn't take me on, and they were really nice when they told me, hey, look, we think this role is not right for you, something greater is happening for you. They were really nice saying that, because I feel like I was always someone meant to work for myself and working towards my dreams, and everyone's dreams look different. Everyone has different dreams, but I think for me it was always doing my own thing, and I think that became really clear in that in that conversation, in that interview. And I had to go to that interview and I had to not get the job to understand that, because maybe otherwise I wouldn't have understood that I am meant to do my own thing. I always kind of knew, but I feel like that was like the turning or the thing where I was like, yeah, actually, I didn't even want to work there. I didn't want to work for someone else. I wanted to do my own thing. And that's basically with everything in life. Like whatever it is that's not working out for you, it's gonna work out in the end. It's gonna happen, and it's gonna, like, something better is waiting for you. Like 70% or even more of you said, like, if something doesn't work out, something better is waiting for you. I now know, like, going back to the relationship part, I now know what unconditional love means and what it means to be in love, being in a relationship, and how easy it can be. I had to go through these other situationships to get to that part. So if you're going through a heartbreak right now, please know that so much is waiting out there for you, and there is a plan for you. There is a unique calling, like a lot of you agreed as well. There is like a path for you. I also want to say here, life is happening for you, not to you. I feel like this is such a great mindset shift. Life is happening for you, not to you. It is happening for you. Everything is happening for you. Over 74% of you said there is a higher power. And in the past, I would call it the universe. Whenever I talked about it in my podcast or in my coachings, I would say, like, ask the universe, put it out there. But what I never really mentioned, for me personally, the universe or the higher power is God. And if for you it works better to say the universe, then say that. Higher power, whatever it is, what feels like right to you. But for me, I truly believe that there is a higher power, that there is a God. And I truly believe, like all of you said, whether you're Christian, whether you believe in a God or not all of you, but over 70 to 90% different questions said that everything will work out better than it's meant to be. There is a higher power, and we're meant to meet certain people. Like, if you believe that, you must believe in like higher power, right? Like that all these things are kind of connected. And I truly believe that we all have this path that we have to go through, although obviously sickness and all these things are evil and have nothing to do with that, and we can't stop that, but we have to go through certain situations in our life to understand what's meant for us. I'm really big on how your mind works, and these are like two things that go together, like the universe, God, higher power, whatever you believe in, and also how your mind works. Sometimes we have to go through certain situations, like, for example, the same dilemma with when we pick our situationships, partners, or whatever, the same mistakes. Sometimes we have to go through certain things to then realize, hold on, I actually don't want this. I want XYZ. And then focus on the things that we want. Saying it out loud, saying it like to the universe, God, higher power, whatever it is you want to call this. But sometimes the thing is, we kind of repeating the same things because we still haven't learned our lesson. And then eventually, after the last time we went through this learning curve, we finally made it out the other end, and we finally are where we're meant to be. And we're still growing, we're still learning, there's still more to achieve, there's still more to grow. We're never ending growing things. So there's always more that we can achieve, always more that we can be, and always more that we can become. Let me share a few things. I kind of mentioned one before, but let me share a few things or signs that actually show you or bring you to your path and show everything that's not meant for you. For example, a breakup is showing you this is not meant for you. Something better is waiting for you. Something better will happen. So you might not feel this right now, but trust me, once you're out on the other side, you will understand this. The second one is physical or emotional exhaustion. Is that how you say it? Exhaustion? When you feel that, pause and realize, wow, okay, I have to change something in my life. There is a shift happening and something better is waiting for me. But in order to achieve this new path or to go on this new path, I have to pause and listen to my body. I'm exhausted. What can I do to find this new path? What can I put aside? How can I get on this path? Like, what do I have? Which crossroad do I have to take? Which roads do I have to clear to get there? Another sign is the feeling of being lost and purposeless. I feel this so deeply. The first time when I traveled to New Zealand and came back to Germany, oh my gosh, I felt so lost. I felt so purposeless. I didn't know what to do with myself, but I kind of trusted and knew that it would all work out. And I kept on, I had the focus on my goal. I had the focus on moving to New Zealand. I had this focus on making it happen for me and just trusting the higher power, trusting it will all work out. And with me trusting and knowing it will all work out, I never lost sight of my end goal or my goal of moving to New Zealand. I mean, that's not my end goal. I don't even know what my end goal is yet. I will figure that out as I move through life. But that was one of my goals. And if you're listening to this and you want to move countries, you want to move to the other side of the world, you want to move to New Zealand especially, I created an online course about moving to New Zealand, which will start in May. It's a group coaching or a live course. So you can ask me questions about how I made it happen, how you can make it happen, visa questions, all things about living in New Zealand. If this is you, check out the link below. But let's get back to the topic, the signs and things that happen that show you that your path is waiting for you, that everything is going to happen how it's meant to happen for you. Does that make sense? Signs that actually lead you to your path and everything that's meant for you. Breakup, physical, mental, and emotional exhaustion, and the feeling of being lost and purposeless. Another thing is negative or hurtful people leaving your life. I, again, can so relate to that. I had friendships that I had to let go because they hurt me. didn't feel good. I forgave them, because forgiveness honestly is the best thing ever. Forgiveness will help you to move on. Forgiveness will free you from that person, because if you always hold on to that anger, there will always be a part of you, and they probably don't even know that they're a part of you. So once you forgive them and let go of the past, they're no longer a part of your life. Forgiveness is key. Another sign that shows you that you're on the right path and get everything that's meant for you is when an opportunity pops up to either go on a long trip, on a retreat, for a new job that's meant for you. So these are all signs that pop up to lead you on your right path, opportunities that pop up. I know that not all of these signs and things are enjoyable, but it is what it takes to get your attention and to realize, hey, something has to change. Sometimes we have to go through the contrast, through the things we don't want, a breakup, letting people go, friends, hurtful people. Sometimes we have to go through the contrast, through the pain, to get to where we're meant to be, to get to where we're supposed to be, to get to realize, hey, I'm worth so much more. Therefore, it is so important to pause, to reflect on your life. What is it that you actually want? What is it that doesn't feel right? Who do you need to let go? What are you holding on to that's not serving you? And go through these emotions and knowing and trusting that something better is waiting for you. I want to talk a little bit more about the question that I asked you guys, and I think 90% of you said, yes, I believe in that we're meant to cross paths with certain people. Looking back at my life, I just see all the connection. I was meant to meet certain people, to get to where I am today. Let me tell you one story. When I was in New Zealand the first time, me and a girl, we did couch surfing, which is a bit scary actually if you think about it. We were 18 back then. Anyway, we did couch surfing at this family, lovely family, super nice. I think we stayed there for 3 days or maybe 4, I can't remember. But one of those nights, they had a barbecue. And at that barbecue was a couple, and she was from Germany. And I think they were in their 40s back then. So kind of my parents' age, or kind of younger than my parents. But anyway, she was from Germany. And she moved to New Zealand 20 years ago, or I can't remember how long ago. Actually, 20 years could be right now. I don't know. Anyway, it's not the point. But she gave me her number and said, if we ever need any help, if we ever need a place to stay, we should reach out to her. That was at the start of my journey in New Zealand, the first 2 weeks in New Zealand. Traveled around for half a year. At the last time, I think, or in the last month, we went back to Auckland, but didn't know that there was a concert or a festival. I can't remember. So everything was booked out. All hostels were booked out, or everything that we could have afforded. Probably there was a hotel, I don't know, 4-star hotel, I don't know. But everything that we could afford as backpackers was booked out. So I reached out to her and asked if we could crash if we could crash at her place for the night. And she was so lovely, and she actually has no idea how much she's part of my New Zealand journey. But we stayed at her place, and then I think we came back another week or for a few more days sometime later. But I became Facebook friends with her and traveled back to Germany. When I went back to New Zealand 2019, I've been in touch with them or her. I stayed with her and her family the first week of my arrival back in New Zealand, the first week of my big adventure of moving here. That was so kind. It was so beautiful to have these people there, to have a home to go to. They make me feel so welcomed. But I'm just what a coincidence that I've met her on this barbecue because we did couch surfing. What a coincidence. And I mean, it's not a coincidence, sorry. It's like it was meant to be, right? So like I said, I believe that every person we meet is either teaching us something. It's just we're meant to cross paths. And the same with my partner. So we matched on Tinder, but there's like a whole story behind this. We live quite close or lived quite close. So we could have matched on Tinder while we were living where we live. But we matched on Tinder 2 hours from where we live because we were both there for New Year's. Not at the same party, it's a small town, it's in New Zealand. We were both there on the 1st of January. The thing was he wasn't even celebrating New Year's there, he was celebrating New Year's in Gisborne, but came back on the 1st. I was celebrating New Year's at this place and left on the 1st of January, so we must have matched on the first day of January, I don't know. But again, I feel like the person and the people that I spent New Year's with and everything that happened beforehand had to happen. I just truly believe that I then ended up there for New Year's and he ended up there for New Year's Day. I don't know, I just truly believe we were meant to meet, even though it was Tinder, but we were meant to match. And even if we didn't match on Tinder, I am 100% sure that we would have like crossed paths and we're getting married now. So I truly believe that this was all meant to be. So I don't think anything is coincidence, and even if some things don't work out and we get hurt, it's all part of the journey, it's all part of our growth journey. And that's why it's so important that we don't hold on to things that happen to us and think like, oh, life always these bad things always happen to me and bad things blah blah blah. It's not going to help you, okay? So just believe that everything will work out in the end, and even better than you could have ever imagined. I don't regret and I don't wish that anything was different in my life that I chose and I decided, because I know it led me exactly to where I am today. Every decision that I made in the past, every wrong relationship I entered, every wrong friendship I had, every wrong job I had, and the same with every right job I had, every right relationship, every right friendship I had, led me exactly to where I am today. And it will lead me to so many more beautiful places in the future. I know it's all meant to be. This is like going so deep. Like I could talk about this for hours, and I'm going to do like more episodes about this, obviously, because that's what I love talking about. But like 70 to 90% of you said, like to these different questions, that you believe everything's meant to be, like everything will work out even better than you've ever imagined. When we don't get something better is waiting for us. We're meant to meet certain people in our lives and cross paths and all these things. I think this is just so beautiful and so good that you trust the universe, higher power, God, whatever it is that you believe in, and knowing that something better is waiting for you. I feel like when we're going through the lows and tough times, it's so good to know that and to remember that, and to know that you will come out on the other side stronger, better, and wiser than ever. If you experienced one of the signs that I mentioned earlier, like a heartbreak, have to like go off certain people in your life because they hurt you, being exhausted from like mentally and physically, when you have those signs, it's so important to pause and ask yourself, what is that telling me? What am I supposed to do now? Where is this leading me? That's it for today, but I want to invite you to my next monthly catch up. It's on Sunday the 16th, 14th. Let me check. It's on Sunday. Let me put just everything in the description. My monthly catch up where I do a mini coaching to start with, then we have a discussion and share our experiences, having mindset chats, and I'm really excited. If you can make it, just check out the link below, and can't wait to connect with you. I hope you have an amazing day.